Time now for Dear Rollie D on Weavy.
Here's today's letter. Dear Rollie D, it's Friday the 13th and I'm dreading it more than I should. I know it's silly. Nothing bad has ever happened on these days that wouldn't happen anyway. But I still avoid big decisions or even making plans because part of me thinks, what if? I catch myself knocking on wood, avoiding ladders, or even doing little rituals to ward off bad luck. It's not ruining my life, but it's annoying and makes me feel out of control. With spring finally poking through, I want to shake this off for good. How do I stop letting these old superstitions run the show without feeling like I'm tempting fate? Signed, Knocking on Wood. Well, it might be the superstition that tops the list for Minnesotans these days. Snow's melting into puddles, except for this morning. Days are longer, but that old bad luck itch, it still flares up. You're not alone. A quarter of Americans admit to some level of superstition, and it's often just a way to feel like we have a grip on chaos. The brain loves patterns and control, especially after a long winter when everything feels unpredictable. But here's the good news. Most superstitions are harmless fun until they start costing you time, energy, or peace. Breaking free, it doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. It means testing the belief and seeing it doesn't hold water. Here's a straightforward, no-drama way to dial it back. First, learn the origin and debunk the myth. Dig into where it came from. Friday the 13th, a mix of old fears around the number 13. The Last Supper had 13 people. And Friday, historical bad events, but no real evidence it causes misfortune. Walking under ladders? Well, ancient Egyptians, they saw triangles as sacred. Later, it was just practical. Salt over the shoulder? Medieval folks, they thought that spilled salt invited the devil, and throwing it blinds him. Knowing the historical roots makes the ritual feel less powerful. Test it small, exposure without fear. Pick one low-stakes superstition and deliberately break it. Open an umbrella indoors. Skip knocking on wood once. Walk under a ladder if it's clear to do so. And track what happens. Usually nothing, right? Or normal life stuff. Over time, the anxiety fades because reality doesn't match the fear. Start tiny so the discomfort is manageable. And replace the ritual with something real. When the urge hits, better knock on wood, pause and do a quick reality check. What's the actual evidence this matters? Or swap it for a practical action, like a deep breath or a positive affirmation. It redirects the need for control to something useful. And notice patterns without judgment. Superstitions often spike when we're stressed or uncertain. If you catch yourself, note it gently. Feeling that Friday the 13th twinge. Probably just leftover jitters. Awareness alone weakens the hold. Superstitions are like old winter coats, comforting in the cold but bulky when spring hits. And if Friday the 13th really controlled fate, we'd all be hiding under blankets every time it rolls around. Instead, most of us just live our lives, and the world keeps spinning. Think about it. You're tougher than a black cat crossing your path. Test superstitions gently. Replace them with real control, and watch the grip loosen. No lightning strikes required. Spring's here in spirits. Let the old habits thaw out too. You have a question that I can answer at some point? Feel free to send it to our text line, 218-749-3000. And remember, I'm just a guy on the radio. Take what works for you.
That was Dear Rollie D on Weavy.